Lincoln only cared that he was going to die at 11 years old. 2 weeks left, maybe 3. Lincoln didn't cry though. His mother's screams almost did it, but he turned her away and tried to think about something else because he didn't want to cry. The door opens. Hi, I'm Dr. House. Internet fandoms aren't exactly known for being normal.
What the fuck is this? Shut up! I can explain!
From the bronies of the early 2000s to the Harris supporters of today, there's always been a lot of overly excited people online who really need to go outside. And the Loud House is no exception. From a 16 million word fanfiction to obnoxiously edgy art, there's countless strange and fascinating quirks about this fandom that I'd like to tell you about. So hang on for at least the first 2 minutes, and I promise to show you things you'll never forget. But wish you could. For those of you who don't know, The Loud House is a 2016 Nicktoon made for kids 9 and older, sometimes much older. Despite not being talked about much, The Loud House has consistently been one of the most popular shows on Nick, even if there have been a few small hurdles along the way. Namely continuity errors, declining quality of the writing, and the creator, Chris Savino, sexually harassing multiple girls in an incredibly serious way. Troubles aside, the main series follows the adventures of Lincoln Loud, a fairly normal boy trying to survive in a family with his 10 poorly written stereotypes. Lori, Lenny, Diet Lizzo, in more ways than one, Luann, Lynn, Lydia, Lanky Box Viewer, Lola, Young Sheldon. I can't even make a joke with the name thing. She is literally just Young Sheldon. And the last one is Lily and Leopold? Pause. These two might be twinning, but only one of them came from this pussy. To the best of my knowledge, Leopold is a fan-made character from the deactivated DeviantArt user DPSII. So how'd he end up in the first results of a Google search? To put it simply, Leopold is an OC, or an original character. Alright, time for a quick lesson. But if you're not interested, I put timestamps all throughout the video, so feel free to skip around. In a lot of art spaces, OCs are surprisingly common since the process of making one is very straightforward. You just take a show that you like, copy the basic design, and make your own version of a character without needing to develop your own art style. Not all OCs are simplistic or cartoony though, and even if it sounds easy, the process can be incredibly complex, with studios producing entire books on character design so detailed that you could pick out each strand of hair on a head, or the eyes reflecting the face of the poor Taiwanese animator the studio outsourced to. With how popular OCs are with young artists, it's no wonder they're so common on a site like DeviantArt. Don't get me wrong though, YouTube has grown past the era of choosing a random child to pick on for a week. Instead, I'll be picking on random adults, specifically picking them for constructive criticism, because I don't like being mean. I'd go through examples now, but I'm sure you'll see a ton by the time this video is over. So here's a quick snapshot of the first 3 I found. Mermaid Molly. I'm making this video and I somehow feel uncomfortable. Hispanic LS Mark. I haven't really answered the question though. After all, why would an artist try and sneak their own character into a show like Dan Snyder sneaking barely disguised fetishes into his? The answer? It's just dumb fun, and even though I think the emphasis is more on the dumb side, I can respect artists at any stage of their development, even if it is a bit of an odd way to show your love for a series. That being said, let's run through a few different types of this kind of content. OC Insert. This is the most basic form of what I've been talking about, and by far the funniest. This example I'm about to show you is partly what gave me the idea for this video. It's a short clip from Innocent Meto. Yeah, that about summarizes everything I have to say about this. Really good drawing. I'm sure the guy's a great animator from some of his other stuff, but the concept is just so goofy. I mean, just imagine this. You're watching Breaking Bad, spoilers by the way, and Hank is about to be killed by Jack's gang. Walter is distraught, crying as he pleads for the men to let his brother-in-law go, but Jack isn't listening. Hank spits in the gangster's face as Walter starts to beg for their lives. Slowly, Jack cocks the gun he has pointed against Hank's head, and we can make a difference. We can make it right. We don't have to fight. Steven Universe! Reaction videos. These are kind of similar to the OC thing, but a lot more lazy. Let me just show you an example. This video is called Garfield and Odie React to Scary Face.
Do?
Fascinating. What about Wander's reaction to Scary Face?
I do?
Outstanding. One more for those in the back. Here's Ryan's reaction to Scary Face.
I do?
It's not cool, Sid. You could really scare somebody like that. I said knock it off, man. You're starting to scare the kids. It's not cool. It's not funny. I'll kick the shit! Now, I'm not gonna lie and say I don't kind of get it. After all, I try and think about it like baby's first joke. But as someone who's been doing this kind of thing for over a year now, they really don't need to put in any effort to make use of the same scenes over and over again. It's just so much easier to screenshot funny moments from a show, movie, or even game scene and throw a caption on it whenever something comes up. Like, here, I call this one White Kids When They Leave the Suburbs for the First Time. Meme templates. I'm mainly bringing this one up because it's easier to find templates on DeviantArt than artists in a homeless shelter. What really confuses me is half of these aren't even jokes. I know that meme has a broad definition, but what does this even mean? Recastings with Loud House characters? Live Lincoln Loud reactions? This one didn't even bother to put anything. It's just straight up blank. I mean, what is this even for? I mean, I could just imagine. It's late at night. I'm working hard together to put a school project in the final minutes before it's due. I'm rushing. I need something to spice up the slides, but nothing seems to be working. Frantically, I open my phone and scroll through my camera roll, looking for anything that I have saved that could add a flare, and there! Lincoln Loud, live reaction to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand. What-Ifs. There's a bunch of funny ones, like what if Luna drank beer? What if the Loud House was Breaking Bad? What if Lincoln was betrayed and stuck in the hyperbolic time chamber for 10 years? I swear, some of these are so crazy where they'll have a normal screen cap of the show, right? Like Lincoln playing with one of his little sisters, you know? Maybe they're holding hands, maybe they're smiling, hanging out, having a great day. Just absolutely normal, right? And then the caption will just be something completely crazy, like, what if my life was worth living? Comments. This isn't a real thing, but I desperately needed an excuse to bring these up. I swear to God, these are real comments that I found at the top of that first image. Lori is 18, which she out of being minor. I cannot imagine the mindset that you have to even say this in public. Shawty is an animated kids cartoon character, but bro still had a timer on his phone set for the exact minute she turned 18 so he could turn around and publicly defend his gooning. I just imagine. It's a nice Sunday afternoon, this guy's chilling, hanging out, and suddenly his family bursts through the door while he's on the computer. They walk in on him and he turns around and says, No. You don't understand. She's out of being minor. Here's another one. Now I can show this to people whenever I see some kinky RP involving the character except Lynn Sr. and Rita because the two parents have 40 years and up. I love this post for two reasons. One, it makes it seem like such a common issue. Like, you're just having a nice day, walking your dog, and bam, you step in a pile of kinky Loud House roleplay. And for two, I can't imagine how this would be useful. It's like the opposite of the last guy. Just imagine his family walking in on him and he turns around to say, No, you don't understand. They're all minors. To clear my name of slander, though, that last comment was probably from a person arguing against any weird behavior. It's just very poorly written. Fanfiction. Here's where things start getting really spicy. For anyone who doesn't know, fanfiction is when a fan of a book, TV show, movie, or really any other creative property takes the characters or setting of the thing that they like and write their own story around it. I have nothing against fanfiction. I just find it funny that the only successful examples I know about are 50 Shades of Grey and every book about economics. To bring it back from the beginning, the story I opened this video with was from a fanfiction called Requiem for a Loud. I first took an interest in it because the premise was just so goofy. I mean Lincoln Loud, the main character of a kids show, gets diagnosed with terminal brain cancer and has to deal with the fallout of his imminent death. I mean, I thought the writing would be so bad it was good, but it turns out it's actually unironically good. I mean, just to give you an example of how well the author handles the writing, when Dr. House walks in, he immediately starts making fun of Lincoln. I just thought this was the author venting about his hatred for House by making him absolutely unlikable, but it somehow ends up being more accurate to his character than even his own show sometimes.
Do you have hair in your special place?
Miss Jamie?
It turns out House was framing his interest in Lincoln as being a mix of cruel curiosity and indifferent, when he secretly just wanted to motivate Lincoln to stop isolating himself from his family before he died. This was like a crazy level of comeback because it single-handedly went from character assassination to making House a better character than even his own show, since they managed to capture both his devil don't care methodical attitude that he takes to dealing with patients, while also capturing his secret caring side better than some of the showrunners. It really does a good job of selling the idea that he is the best doctor in the world better than his show does sometimes. That being said, I'm gonna have to end this rant here, because if I don't stop myself now, y'all are gonna have to start calling me Bob the way I'm trying to build up this house. Enough of the decent stuff though, let's get entertaining. Here's one of my favorite deliberately bad fanfictions. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Greg Heffley and the Intercontinental Ballistic Missile. Riley and I were making lemonade to cool off after some heavy rounds of Twisted Wizard. Not long after, Dad told us that there was a ballistic intercontinental missile heading towards our town and we needed to evacuate immediately. Anyway, we started hitting the road. We found out that we didn't have enough seats for Rowley, so we taped my 3-year-old brother Manny to the roof of the car. My mom thought that giving Manny a gun would help eliminate traffic. Manny killed a man. Loud House revamped. This is a 32 million word, over 1,000 chapter Loud House fanfiction. To put that into context, the entire Lord of the Rings series is a bit over 500,000. Reading speed depends on how much you enjoy a book, since the more into it you are, the easier words tend to flow. But the average person reads 238 words per minute for nonfiction, 260 words per minute for fiction, and 2 words per minute for Twilight. Even if you read this fic at a consistent 300 words per minute, it would still take a full 74 days of straight reading just to catch up. But would it be worth it? No. I went through a TV Tropes article just to get a summary of the story, and I think the best way to describe it is the fact that Lincoln Loud has a harem of girlfriends, which include Ronnie Ann, Hengel the Lemur, Jewel the Beetle, Whisper the Wolf, Ryuko Matoi, Rimu, Jolene Cujo, and everyone from Strawberry Shortcake. I'm not even gonna comment on the fact that half of these aren't even human.
I'm fucking the dog. I'm fucking the dog, Ted. I'm fucking that dog.
But let me just say this. You know how people say pickup artists are all just insecure for needing so much female attention? If that's true, with the way Lincoln is trying to catch them all like Pokemon, he probably feels about as secure as every CEO right now. Here's some other fun topics that came up. Curb Stomp Battle, High Voltage Death, The Execution of Glenn Quagmire, Circles of Hell, which, yeah, that's about where I'm at right now. The tricky thing about describing this fic is that it's so long that literally anything that can happen has happened. Zombie invasion. That's the Canada arc. Space invasion? Team Loud House Phoenix Force has come to save the day. Cloning? I mean, yeah, it's probably happened, but hell if I'm gonna check. I mean, I know that's kind of my job as a YouTuber, but there's a difference between an occupational hazard and occupational torture. There's not really much else to say, since it's actually kind of boring. I mean, there's occasionally funny moments, like when Lincoln beats Sasuke from Naruto and calls him Sasuke, but with the sheer amount of chapters, it's so hard to justify any real investment. That's actually the same reason why I dropped Christianity for the ancient Sumerian art of Zoroastrianism. Well, that and the ladies. If you love fanfiction, you're gonna love this video I made about Plants vs. Zombies. It doesn't have anything to do with fanfiction, but it's a really cool video, and I think you'll love it. Also, if you hate fanfiction, you'll really love this Plants vs. Zombies video, because it has nothing to do with fanfiction, but it's a really good video, and you'll love it. Okay, bye.